Hi, everyone. It's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And joining me today is Bruce Spiva. Welcome.
Thank you, Krylios. It's great to be with you.
It is awesome to have you here with me today. Now, I want to start this off with just having you have the opportunity to talk about yourself a little bit. So, introduce yourself to our audience and let us know a little bit about your background and experience.
Great. Thanks again for having me, Krylios. My name is Bruce Spiva, and I'm running for DC Attorney General. And my wife, Anna, and I have lived here almost 30 years. We have raised our two sons here who are young grown-ups now. And we love the city and really want to try to work to make it better, especially for those who've been left out and left behind. I've been practicing law for almost 30 years, civil rights, voting rights, consumer protection and antitrust enforcement, and workers' rights. And I've also been a longtime advocate and fighter for DC statehood. I've had numerous trials over the years, including a dozen in the last 7 years fighting for voting rights. I have also argued numerous appeals, both here in DC and all over the country, and last year, including in the United States Supreme Court. Until I recently left to run for office, I was the managing partner of the DC office of a firm called Perkins Coie, and I was focused on voting rights work there. I also sat on the firm's executive committee, which is the governing body of the firm, which has over 1,200 lawyers. I graduated from law school, from Harvard Law School in 1992, and was on the Harvard Law Review there. So I believe that I'm well prepared to take on and carry on the public interest mission of the office if elected.
Certainly. And could you tell me why at this point or, this time in your life, you've decided to throw your hat into the ring? Why do you want to go ahead and, represent the people in a new space and in a new way?
In a nutshell, Krylios, I want to advance the public interest mission of the office. I want to help people. I've never forgotten that I stand on the shoulders of others, most prominently my mother and late father, who both grew up in the Jim Crow era South and went on to lives of service to others throughout their careers. My father graduated from an HBCU in 1954. Yeah, the year the Brown decision came down. And so he really instilled in me a belief in helping others. He inspired me to go to law school, although he was not a lawyer himself, and gave me the courage for the last 30 years to use the gifts that I'd been given really to fight for ordinary people in areas like civil rights and voting rights. And that's what I want to carry into the office. I want to advance the public interest mission of the office using that training experience and the gifts that I've been given.
Awesome. Great to hear. Now, tell me, what are some of those top, priorities, issues, challenges that you would love to tackle if elected to the role?
Yes, there are many. It's a broad office. It has a public interest mission, over 700 professionals, 350 lawyers. But the primary things that I would want to focus on are housing justice, fighting to secure safe and affordable housing for all residents of Washington, D.C. And I would do that by fighting slumlords, enforcing promises of developers who receive city money in exchange for promises to provide a certain amount of affordable housing. I want to enforce those promises. And I also want to focus on criminal justice reform, focusing on the root causes of crime, particularly for our juveniles, to try to keep them out of trouble to begin with. If for those who do fall into trouble with the criminal justice system, to try to really rehabilitate them and lead them back to productive lives. Because I think we can never forget that these are our children, even when they go astray. And so providing things like mental health counseling and trauma counseling, substance abuse counseling, and better education. And then last, certainly not least, I want to fight for consumer protection, particularly of our elderly, and workers' rights. I'm one who has represented unions in my career. And so I want to fight against wage theft and workers' rights. And of course, statehood and local autonomy. I will carry that message with me wherever I go as Attorney General.
Certainly. Thank you for that. Thanks so much for sharing. Now tell me, what is your favorite thing about DC, about Washington, DC?
I think my favorite thing is the diversity of people and neighborhoods. It's unfortunately, and this has been historically true, there is a lot of segregation in DC, like so many cities around the country. We truly are and were a Southern city. Many people don't know that we were under Jim Crow for many years before the what has been called the Second Reconstruction or the Civil Rights Movement. But our city has a rich diversity, and many of our neighborhoods reflect that. And that also is reflected in the types of neighborhoods, the types of food that we have, the types of entertainment experiences, go-go. I mean, that's was born here. And so if I had to pick out one thing, and there are many things that I love about the city, is the rich diversity in all its elements of our city. We have our challenges. We definitely have our challenges with poverty and segregation and the like. But we are really rich in soul.
I love that. Great answer. Great answer. Now, Bruce, tell me, why are you the voters' best choice come this election season? What makes you the best choice for voters?
I think it's both the breadth and depth of experience that I have. Like I said, almost 30 years of practice experience at the highest levels, and the type of experience that I've had fighting for everyday people, doing civil rights work, and fighting for people who were kicked out of their housing, African American, Asian, and Latinos in Columbia Heights. And some of whom were riding around on city buses looking for a place to stay with children. So I've had these experiences, and I think that will best prepare me to take on the challenges that we have and have a real impact, a positive impact, using the powers of the office based on what I've done for the last 30 years. So people don't have to take it on faith that I will do these things. It's kind of in my DNA to be on everyday people's side, and also though that I've got I've been battle tested, and so these are not easy problems, and these are not easy cases that we're talking about, and it takes someone who's really been there in the trenches. I've been the David many times against the Goliaths of corporate wealth and civil rights discriminators, and so I will be able to be effective in the role for the people, and I think the most effective of the candidates running.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, Bruce, when does voting begin in DC?
Well, the election day is June 21st, but every registered voter in the district will be mailed an absentee ballot on May 16th. And so that in some sense, the election begins on May 16th. There also is a period of early voting but that begins on June 10th. And so And so people can utilize any of those methods that are most convenient for them. They can mail in or take their ballot to a drop box that they get in the mail. They can go to a voting center during the early voting period, or they can come on election day, whichever is best for them.
Certainly, certainly. And we want to remind our viewers that if you need to check your voter status, if you need to pledge to vote, register to vote, you can go to headcount.org. Once again, go to headcount.org to check your status, pledge to vote, and register to vote. And keep those dates in mind. Keep those dates in mind. Bruce, before I let you go, how can people learn more about you, learn more about your campaign, get updates on what's going on, and support and donate in whatever way they can?
Yes, thank you. One of the ways is to go to our website, www.spivafordcag.com, and you can learn more both about my policy positions there, and you can sign up to participate in events. And we are also, this weekend, we were out knocking on doors. We're going to be doing that throughout the rest of the campaign. So I hope that I get a chance to knock on your door, but I'm always available to come and talk to small or large groups of people. But the website is the best way to get in contact with me and with the campaign, and as we try to reach out to voters.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, thank you so much for coming here with me today. Viewers, the links will be in the description, so you can go ahead and check it out right now. Thank you so much for being here with me, and best of luck on your campaign.
Thank you so much, Krylios. It was my pleasure.
Certainly, certainly a pleasure. Those watching, please, you can go ahead and follow Team Racing Productions on social media in all forms at Team Racing. And of course, please like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
So long.